episode of Use Your Words, we're going to take a look at a film, Let's Talk About Sex, by James Houston, in which he examines the attitudes towards adolescent sexuality in the United States and how those attitudes affect teenagers. For folks who are interested in adolescent sexuality, there's been a lot of comparison recently between United States teen culture and teen culture in Western European countries, especially the Netherlands. I feel like those conversations get derailed because of all of the other issues there are to distract us. All these conversations around sleepovers and alcohol consumption and even tobacco use. What I'm curious about is how these Western European countries view adolescence as part of the natural journey to adulthood, and how that understanding of a teen's place in the community is different than the understanding that we have in the United States. All of that is to say, my hope for you is that you won't allow yourself to be distracted by the conversations you're going to hear in the film about the sleepovers in the Dutch families, or even seeing kids in the Netherlands who are having beers and maybe smoking some cigarettes. Things that may happen in the United States but parents aren't necessarily aware of. I feel like these are huge distractors from the overall message of the film, which is that we really should be talking to our teens about sexuality in an open and honest way. The film starts out with a montage of clips and images from popular television shows, movies, and advertising campaigns that we are all being exposed to on a regular basis. It was pretty powerful for me as a parent to actually watch this. I mean, I know what my kids are watching on TV, I know what movies they're watching. I often will read the books that they're reading just to see what's going on and have things to talk about with them. But putting it all together in a 1-minute montage was really overwhelming for me. And it's unsettling to me because these images and television shows and marketing campaigns are creating invisible values about who we are or who we should be as sexual beings. Right from the start, I feel like this film is doing an important job by highlighting very clearly how many messages we get on a regular basis around sexuality and how important it is for a parent, for me, to be talking specifically with my teens about how I feel about these images and how sexuality is used, lest they absorb and live out the values that they're getting through these marketing campaigns, television, and movies. There are many conversations in the film between the filmmakers and families, between parents and teens, here in the United States as well as in the Netherlands. There are also conversations between the filmmakers and clergy around sexuality and faith's role in these kinds of conversations. The film highlighted how important it is to include GLBT concerns and issues within sexuality education. The film talks about shame and its effect on sexual health outcomes. Also, they interviewed some folks in Washington, D.C. who are working in the HIV/AIDS advocacy community. The film ends in a community in Oregon where folks have really embraced the importance of open communication and full education and knowledge on sexuality and sexual health for not only young people, but for all people. While the film is a fabulous resource in itself, the website has so much information. There are tons of resources and links for parents, for faith communities, for educators, and for teens to get more information, to become advocates for sexuality education. The website also gives suggestions on different kinds of opportunities to share this message and the movie with other folks. You can have a viewing party with other parents in your neighborhood, or with your family if you have sisters or brothers or aunts or uncles who want to learn more, or who you want to be safe people to maybe have conversations with your teens. Invite them over to watch the movie. If you belong to a faith community, you could sponsor a viewing night. And if you download the free viewing kit off of the website. It gives you tons of guidance on questions and conversations around the movie, but also ways to really start something happening in your community, something between parents and children, but also even possibly is advocating for larger conversations in the future. If you've watched any of my previous episodes of Use Your Words, you'll see that I'm all about parents taking responsibility for all of our stuff, for the baggage that we bring, for our own insecurities around sexuality, our own embarrassment, all of that stuff. And what I was struck by the most when I was watching this film was how often we get in our own way of communicating with our teens about sexuality. I'm not trying to beat us up as parents or even say that we're doing a bad job. I mean, a lot of us are doing the best that we can. But as I watch this film, I'm reminded of how important it is to accept my teen as a person, as a whole human being with wants and needs that I may not even be able to understand now or even in the future. And that my primary responsibility is to keep my teen safe. I hope that viewing this film may provide an opportunity for you to consider how you keep your kids safe and what kind of conversations you might want to have with them in the future. If you feel like this episode has been beneficial, I encourage you to share it with one other parent and maybe invite that one other parent to watch the movie with you. If you decide to watch the film, please leave a comment here. I'd love to hear what you thought about it and how you might be able to use it within your own community. I hope that today's episode will inspire you to use your words and have at least one conversation about sexuality with your teen.